ebetimi aye change maker bi ana ebetimi din sakraye bi abre Ghana timemufo na me I think about timemufo first omo mo wonum do omo show mefu dada ebetimi aye change maker bi da abre Ghana for ana.
I think say oya Ghana ni na odwene say this is not the main budget. This is a mid-year review and it's a budget na nkasa na the keka ho over the years na ntimi and transform the economy way. Now you think the mid-year review can change the fortunes of this country and I'm say a good year or dream kakra. Because you see if you look at the kind of economic wreckage happened to this country in the last 7 years. Baby yakwana nam and where we are today. Now say you think this particular thing would change the stakes. I'm sure say be na say be a grow baby because it is not. Because you see, you say adena to a point where Ghana is at this point, you know. It will take years for us to recover. It will take years, I'm telling you, because you see, if you look at your debt, we say I rise it to a tune of about 724 billion Ghana cedis. And your debt here drew. At this point, your debt is unsustainable. And you're going to make because you know, say we've gone out there to declare bankrupt, say we can't pay our debt. And say our external creditors, you know more assign memorandum of understanding. I more agree with that. Say okay, your mama mre. The question is, mre no more dia me no. Me na me betu ya na wo na wo betu ya. That is one question. And again, I must say yen service debt na na se fo nyina achi no. And look at the dollar rate. And you see, the promises are Dr. Bawumia at the political fringes. Answer all bano. You heard him. The campaigning was premised on the fact that you best sustain it. And then look at the dollar today. Obi or your businessman or whatever so can you na juma. Kubisa and said in the business here. Yes, you might want to say dollar no say the city be a bekosro. And it's true, I will admit, because I don't expect dollar rate 2016 to be the same as 2024. I bet change, but the rate of variation, you know, that is key. We understand. And again, idea about quite complaining over the years has to do with say young creating job opportunities for young people. Say okay. How far with that particular one? Because NAPCO buy, I said it was a very positive way. Say it me sustain. But who created job opportunity as a government for 100,000 people and you cannot sustain it to the point that some will have to go home and you still own them. The level of economic desperation of mine, and as a maybe power welders are not willing to provide some of these viable enterprises for young people. What I say. So to me, who are consolation Ghana ni betimi afa free me say for the first time who new taxes. And government is telling us, oh, expenditure, we revise it downwards. I think it's 7 billion Ghana cedis in free, so I will revise it downwards. But you see, the stakes are high. Some of these things will not, it's like a drop in the sea. What I say. So I think that you're failure, and we need to admit. So the promises and assurances that we gave to the people of this country, because I was telling you, so Chroma 2016, the kind of euphoria, the energy that people invested in Akufo-Addo's presidency, and the fact is that this man is coming to change things for us. I know a lot of people, my catcher, Madam for medical doctor, he's a medical director in one of the hospitals. He was one of the people who led this change. But today, also not even Akufo-Addo Betoswa, as on cut even in reform. And I know people in academia who did the same thing. Because you see, when people have trust and confidence in you, so bad, and now banner didn't turn it the other way around. And you don't seem to care much. The level of insensitivity, I say, like Makasameyan and one that kind of attitude, you know. And engender confidence and inspire man for. And that is the point today. So I was looking at a budgeter. So you ever propose, say, okay, we recognize the challenges in the economic problems at Ghana for women. We've also seen, say, and Ghana ni bi oti krom ha bia da so no say obenya visa no wato free na mamu akọ. Say oh my na obia hope ni so over travel then that country has no future because all the your friend saying nipa omo the energy to work for the country, the workforce no omo no kọ abonten akoye for other people no. What I say? So it means that you need to create a certain viable economic enterprise. Ebetimi a sustain amanfo nya adwuma ye because ye adwuma okrom ha na se Ghana ni nya 3,000 Ghana cedis a month. I'm not sure say some will travel obi kura ka kira me say owo abrochire na se sika na oje no ho no onya half okro beba fie aba betena ha ba ye adwuma what I say. So these are some of the things I say yet tenase na ye hu say we are no I expand it. Let us focus on building industry. Me there be a catch am for say akufo adoka say industrialization drive no I thought say it was one of the best promises I make.
Yeah.
If only you bet me I walk that particular path. But then never be enam because I know what tenase no identify say what building industries are. Apart from say a creative job opportunity no it will reduce the import burden our mine so and your currency will be stable. Sikana winni bi no wo sesa de kwa abonten sa wo de kwa akoye ya fa ne sanyi wo de kokra nema ba putting pressure and other areas nema bi wo ha ehia kra so baka kokra the last time met na me catch our pad oba ben na owo certain age o use pad so when you open such a factory you know say the be bia people buy from there. If you be na ye need tea tomato wo me okroma say you know so we set up tea tomato factory kasia you can serve your market and even go beyond Africa. What I say but we've gotten to a point and businesses need frabontin ba okroma no kra most of them are hesitant. In recent time you know a number of businesses are hesitant na no ba ko fi o say okobenin Lepton I'll move out. Nivea, I'll move out. Glovo, I'll move out. And we live in a country where all these businesses are moving out.
Even some banks are threatening to also move out.
Some have already left. Some have already left. I told sir, backless were in some town. And the winning say a bar, a children, or munina, or more columns in our site. Say the environment is not business friendly. Or more, yeah, they don't get profit. So a child say you need to do a lot to woo these people, investors to come. Because a minor ankasa cannot invest in itself to a level of me attaining the kind of economic way out. You need investors. But if the environment is not viable, if people do not trust your judicial system like if people know say parliament cannot be trusted to do right things, nobody will come. Investment, that is why major companies are moving out of the country, and this will be a major concern because when a company moves out of this country, one thing is key: they take away employment. Because Glovo, you know, and Glovo and Yajuma Okroma Bakofa Bokena for some obviously Ghanaians. So Omuvua Ghana for Lusu Juma. How are you compensating for those who have lost their job? Is there anything banking sector clean up by we know a number of people who lose their job? Or be a bank manager not to preku or home. Psychological trauma will go through creating me board them. What I say? And it's whole lot of challenges and we need to recognize enough of this politics I can't say no money any partner because the reality is maybe Ghana things are not going well because this is a country you restructure your debt and recently I told you your euro bond you know my tenancy or matiasi ama e muntwim kwa animu ye bilateral creditors China and I did ye didn't kakase pa 1.7 billion you know makasa ye ne your friend is saying Paris club akasa omo twetwe kwa animu the question is why na betua
interest in so anso na eko enye se aka
exactly so you see these are real conversations that we need to activate as citizens beyond the political divide now you move beyond the frontiers of partisan politics now you have real conversation at Ghanaians said these are the real challenges that Omainu go through so what are the ways across the political divide you never because I know the day see it be creating new mama and ranting and my one year they will pay taxes and the country will gain. Crime rate will go down because what your mind when I say young people do not have your friends saying any resourceful economic avenue biana a very dangerous thing will be but I say one person in your friends saying your friends say Tunisia I can't say police for aje the fruit and for utwa ni mo share you saw what happened it triggered a wave of massive and radical revolution in the whole of your friends saying North Africa. Okay. North Africa, spread here to your friends saying a top one, you know, other countries, and Syria, Bashar, and mobile. So you see, youth unemployment is a crisis, a threatening stability. So we are buying now, we are very smart. All you have to do is to ensure that you provide viable economic incentive for young people, so at least a month for a course salary in your crown, at least all your baby. But idea yapa has our to na winni bibi yo. The obedi winni. That's a bon some ball power. Those are unfortunately we move to Accra. Now be our mommy will cross they expecting much for me because you live in the city. Maybe at the obedi kra no eh dem will be the obin chan. So we cannot create a country where people will be living luxurious life. And such a desperate situation because it's like the part them $1 million and pass it. Now you have funny stories, so whole lot of silly justifications. Now you brush something na ko. And now but massive corruption has been enough somewhere. Now you brush. So when people are suffering, these people are part of the country. You understand? So I think that we need to be real. Now you're making sure say at least BB to better the life of the people, because the whole essence of governance, politics, leadership, is to give life to people. But that is not our focus. And the disability people will travel and they will run. But Obi Europe, no, or you're disabled, and no cry away mount. Because you'll be taken care of.
Yeah. And they know the system will take care of them.
My classmate, me no movie school, University of Ghana. Some of the nurses are today in UK. No, we in a hospital. A binum are in care homes. Are more taking care of people. And if you look at the kind of people they are taking care of, them, because some of them, like some are in their vegetative state. Some are imbeciles. But they have been paid to move from their country to go and take care of them.
Yeah.
What I say, that is how these people have taken humanity to a certain level. But you know, what we are saying now, we are doing and nobody cares.
And phobia.
Politician who as a mere instrument, a do political party, and a do elections, and have a mungu come na munye de.
This is how much I say a call round. No more for a man for
yes, near top of the man for the because election in your power no. What I say, I think that I see a more who say it is not your duty to occupy human mobi. But yeah, the to me show being sa. Nepa wonim dia wonyansa a obetimi atane the fortunes around enye about him never about everybody because like I say aban bia no obetimi create job for bia it's not possible. Even in America you cannot. But we have a situation where the vice president will take a stand and say meba I will set up a credit score mo kwa je phone mo to one city. Sometimes I say he's talking to some gullible individuals be credit score in America enye aban a certain credit score. Private financial institutions. Even Canada does the same thing. Yes.
Among the credit institution,
yes, credit institution. Private firms, and private firm no don't generate this data. They look at your economic life. And this any person spending no near Juma credit score no faso ben also.
Ivan, ni na begina baby a wakase timemufo no ennim sa na ma we nyina.
Yes. And you know no, and me to answer me Juma. I don't need anybody to rent for me. So you can't say about you to know your friend is saying sika to rent. No, obi anya beggar. Nobody's a beggar. So create a viable economic incentive. Let people go and work. They can rent. I don't need you to rent for me. You understand? Mami Juma, I don't mean udu age be home. It's not always energy. Okra woji anawa fere. What I say, you want to wake up a day, walk to a place and say, this is my workplace. You feel proud that you have a sense of belongingness. You understand? At the end of the day, even say 500 Ghana cedi near the man crowd, you know, say we are what I say. You can use it to do something. So that is what the vice president should focus on. Now you make credit score for the credit score near the so you see, liberty politics near attach seriousness to politics. I'm sure that some of these easy talk, these cheap political talks, will not come in. Because whenever he's talking, he will realize I'm talking to an enlightened group of people who will subject whatever that I say to critical scrutiny. But I just emotional babies. Now, the can be a budget say so, Minia, economy, dear, baby, you embrace your heart. It will take years for us to recover from the kind of mess because so we debt to your GDP. They are buying a project now compared to what the IMF is projecting. At least the figures are way and are buying a kind of debt now. A car, state-owned enterprises, other way of bossing a yabono non fan can but other people no add. So our debt portfolio is even bigger than what the government is projecting. It shows that there is a real problem. You see. Yeah, through pointer, we cannot continue to blame people like NDC in a year, MPP in a year, and away in a year. We need to have a proper discussion. How can we elevate this developmental agenda beyond the frontiers of partisan politics? You engage stakeholders. Now you're making sure that we have a vision for the next 20-30 years. This is the where we are going. So to me, set that particular stage. I'm sure that we will get somewhere. But you leave everything to a president. and his vision is terminated with his tenure, I know that another person will come and start a new whole thing. Because so we have Babia Mahama, a year some of the project 2016, I think a year twice we and all of them has been abandoned. This is so started it. And I also would the no so ban so castle abandon. I know the whose office because you cannot day and sika. I am no sika ya brand yes man. So we need to reason out. But you know greed. The Nipan Benya Odi party next year. 200 Ghana and 1,000 Ghana be and 500 Ghana be send their to accounts sometime in that is all that the person prioritizes. But what other people are going through, they don't just care. And I think that yet me get to a point that we will see things for real because this kind of your friends saying platitude. Throw words around just to do politics and now Yantikrumana Emera for investment. I can't say a restructure or more debt and you postpone the quite anymore.
Former Chief Justice the Crampo Count.
Exactly.
So fire Kufu.
Yes. So and you can't deceive the people and say because the biggest sign I bet you say economy not tumble near Mankoye say unkro form mudo musika beto government bond and as for them treasure bill and so we catch them say montwin kwa ni mu because government de ka and the kind of bind no anya se akoye nyansade bi na amamfo de ka wo eyensem hunu na ye de sika ne di for instance yanti kroma na president Akufo-Addo de sika ko han jet nyansasamba ne yanka nje no he never listened to anybody almost say cathedral and sebunu we say we said no at this time we live in a civilized and enlightened society. You can't use our money to go and build cathedral. Or say Yankupan son there. Na Yankupan son there ko yet he insisted and used our money to dig a pit. And then I Canada ho. And several other
which you know say the next party to come oh
definitely definitely. And you see we have invested our monies in such senseless ventures over the years. Now yet na ye ho kire yan we say we should share the burden. When these things were being done, we cautioned you, we spoke wisdom to you. But Adam said, arrogance, power, everyday arrogance. And you top say you were sitting on top of the moon. But Abra, at some point they brought it here. It's a tamak, so you check every day. How can you do this? The level of insensitivity I had done a D and a Bosnia Yebo and Yansa him can over at some point. His own party people will say, no, the guy need to go. Because the economic fortunes of Ghana and sink. What did the president do? And I can until his own time, I want mess things up. We know now, yeah, Bobo Sian and so forth. So, Sanima way, you know, dead, and I got a need to know folding the arms, no people into what has happened on the political arena now. But who's a winner serious? God, yes, AC because of an accident, AC because you deliberately decided to do it, and that is why we are here. So, let us begin to take responsibility. I mean, that is what I believe. You see, now, no. Donald Trump was on stage in this one. There was a massive security breach. Shooting or survival, you know. Your friend is saying, Secret Service Director appeared before a committee. Go and see. Grelin and Kasa. But no, the woman admitted, say, the boss, stopped with her as a leader. Why resign the coffee? Yes.
One man in
Sasu coffee. But your friends, the campaign grounds no new hobby or not in the baby. But Ednam said on the ultimate responsibility or burden, while resigning Kofi and the deputy are taking over.
Ghana had the that.
It can never happen because you see, Makata's a governance, the relationship that must exist between power and the people must be trust and intellectual kinship. Mutual respect and intellectual kinship. But that intellectual kinship is not there. That trust is not there. That mutual respect is not there. So I know the day, Nipano yet things in the way they want it. You understand? So I think that we need to rise as people and begin say, let us take vested interest in politics. Because first, and I speak to a lot of young people in the diaspora. And Mao in the first, come interested in politics. Today, Uno be Kasana or more camp politics, you know, people are coming. A 60-year-old woman, a Ghanaian, he lives in the US. She called me about 2 days ago. And I can and some other woman, can me over 60 years old. You see, people are becoming increasingly interested in politics. And you can because I want to know one year involved. That's how we say
decide
the amount. And at the day, your future is on the line. So whichever way you see it, get involved. Be part of the conversation. Let us activate and lead the change that we want. And yes, sir, Nkrofo papa the bedin sem hunu. I mean, you see, they are to talk cars and more girlfriends. I didn't say hunu now what we need to reason up as people.
Ghana, my ye the ball no ahye won sa bebi aduro no una wasa wo dwen na hu de ye e de maw me kan na brebi me say se sikani no ewia ohiani na ofre ne business na se ohiani no retaliate na sikani na ka say we de violence. That is the system in Africa now. Ohiani ne buafu na we hu se sikani ni wia no na sikani ni say business no onu retaliate no onu hu ni say violence. It end the be system no aba be gage na atwew mesrew wo ye Ghana ni bebi ye duru no ye ne betima ma o man na ye yi o enye omo ayato omo so aba no yen ne betima ma o man na ye yi enti dwen Ghana ni dwen okoto aba na dwen ne jai say ye de aponchi krampo besio na hye ne party color obeto ama no no hwan na kiro sa ade no senyansa ne free infa. You have to think answer wodu kokrumuti no akwakosi wono ebre ni ti ye beko na omo maka no edi de akebia baba to aso Ivan say o final message wo bibi kan quick one na ye fan sorry so.
Yeah, I think I said in Mexican young people must take a center stage in this politics. Me who belong to NDC, MPPO, that's cool because you are part of the political system. But let us be rational. Yamfanyansa and your politics. Maya invested too much emotions. Now you look at the issues where we should be bold enough to stick our neck out because you see we can't be cowards in our own country. Ghana no be building. It will take our courage, our strength, and the ideas and you better build your mind. And wherever it is going wrong, no, we must take out and say this thing is wrong. Where it is right, no, it is right. That is the only way.
Okay.
And yes, sir, but where things are going, I even believe that Ghanaians in the diaspora, no, the kind of love and the enthusiasm, the passion they show in the affairs of this country, no, we take things for granted. So I think that there is no place better than home.
Okay.
We need to make sure that we secure this country and make it a better place.
Ghana for many a year Ura Ivan Innocent Chey or ye activist na ene ye shampoo nimpo a ye dwendwen Ghana nkoma o me gidi se we hye ne ma bebre Efrem medin edi abrante ekosi Jemfi ye ntwan ye ho ye ba de akabia de beto so kasa